What is going on, everybody? I hope you're all having yourselves a great weekend. I myself was enjoying my Sunday until, of course, we had to have some media always pushing some buttons. So I thought we'd talk a little bit about that. Took a little break from the Flyers game, all tied up. But I thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I'm your host, Jimmy Smith. And if you have any kind of questions, any comments you want to throw my way, feel free to do so. I appreciate you liking, retweeting, subscribing, all that stuff you guys do to support me. Truly, truly appreciate it. But yeah, let's get right into this. So you guys have seen it. It's been happening the last few weeks. It's not obviously just today that this happened, but it just doesn't ever end. You know how the media loves to pit Eagles fans against each other and just make it seem like there's just hellfire and brimstone surrounding us. So apparently the Eagles interested in Deshaun Watson, and now we're also interested in getting a quarterback again, even though we traded back to 12. So the question is, do the Eagles want to draft a quarterback to compete with Hurts? So that would be a high draft pick here. Or are we going to trade for Deshaun Watson, who currently has 22 lawsuits filed against him? Yeah, I'm going to be 100% real with you. The Deshaun Watson thing, and I'm seeing all kinds of stuff out there. It's like typical Eagles. This is exactly what the Eagles would do. And it's like, what? First off, we haven't done anything. This is literally someone hypothetically saying something. And I think it was Mike Florio, someone who doesn't like the Eagles. So it's like, wait, what? So apparently we have to make stories about this and how the Eagles, oh, the terrible people, terrible fans, terrible organization. They approve of this sexual misconduct. It's like, this is asinine. First off, Deshaun Watson, very talented football player. Anybody would be lucky to have him as a quarterback. Now, whatever the hell's going on with him outside of football, yeah, I hope they figure that out. And I hope he gets whatever worked out. Yeah, I'm not going to try to speak on something I don't know, and I'm not going to try to condemn someone when I have no idea whatever, dude. You got a lot of cases against you. Not looking good. So I wouldn't, obviously, you guys know I'm all about second chances, all about, finding the best in people. But right now, kind of dealing with something. So I don't really think that's the Eagles' play. I'm going to be real with you. We're trying to build for the future. I don't think that that's the move that we're making. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but we've been hearing this for weeks. We've talked about it, and I don't understand. Maybe when this all blows over, or he gets, whatever kind of punishment he gets, then you can talk about whatever. But right now, I don't understand it. Just don't want to see Eagles trade 3, 4 ones for him. Yeah, I don't understand why you'd be doing that when someone's going through something like this right now. So don't think that's the move for the Eagles. Now, beyond that, if you're looking past Deshaun Watson, because, I obviously think he's dealing with some things, as we all know. So that's not happening. That's great that someone thinks that, like, of course, this guy's going through stuff like that. And instead of reporting on that or what's going on, they report, yeah, the Eagles are interested. Like, it's ridiculous out here, guys, but that's why I started doing this, because it's like, wow. But, people say they hate that stuff, but that's all you see online, and that's all people talk about. So why don't we just nip it on the butt and just tell you how ridiculous that sounds? But then when you talk about quarterbacks in this draft, we have talked about this over and over again. Especially with all that's going on with him, I don't want him. Exactly. Steve, why the hell would we? And this is kind of like when people say they want Micah Parsons. Look, I love Micah Parsons as a player, but if you've heard about the off-the-field issues, not something I think a team that is in a partial rebuild, not completely rebuilding, but a lot of new pieces and trying to get younger, I don't know if that's what you're trying to do. But regardless, yeah, I think you roll with Hurts. and you kill this draft. You add some weapons around him. You build the offensive line. You build this defense up. That's something we've talked about over and over again. But if we're going to talk about quarterbacks, and that's what we'll do today, what should the Eagles do? They brought in Joe Flacco. We looked at that contract, a great contract, honestly. And, people, oh, $4 million in incentives. Like, well, regardless of if he gets it or not, let's take a gander. I actually have it right here. The cap hit. That's what matters to us, okay? We're not the ones paying him. We don't care. And Howie Roseman's the one that has to worry about the cap. We worry about it because we need our team to be able to sign free agents, sign our draft picks. Well, that's what we talked about this offseason. We would be able to add a couple veterans on one-year deals. We did just that. Well, that quarterback, $1.56 million. I love that, man. Great cap hit on a guy that obviously isn't still as good as he used to be, but can provide some good knowledge to the quarterback, and he's a good backup. So I don't think he's coming here to compete and be the starting quarterback like a lot of people have tried to create the narrative for. Don't see that. But beyond that, obviously you have nothing else. Nate Sudfeld signed with the 49ers. Oh, I'm heartbroken. But yeah, I think we should add a quarterback. But the question is, where do you add a quarterback? So we're going to take a look here. We could still win at least 6 to 8 games. So much. Yeah, we could win 9 games. This division up in the air. We saw what happened last year. And this team, we don't know what it's going to look like with Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts at quarterback. So I really can't gauge. A lot of people say, it's a dumpster fire. And it's like, you have no idea who we even drafted yet. You don't even know what the 90-man roster is. We're still adding veterans like we talked about, as we would. Anthony Harris, I love that one. Andrew Adams. We added Eric Wilson, brought Jordan Howard back. We're making the right moves. And these guys aren't like, some of them aren't, oh, they're going to be the starter. This is the future. Jordan Howard, obviously, he's a guy that's just coming back, going to compete, and maybe not even on the team. So you still got to draft one. You still got to do that stuff. But quarterback, you got nobody. You got Flacco and Hurts. So you got to groom someone just in case, or to have a backup or whatever the hell. That's a smart thing to do. But to create competition, I don't know if I want to do that right now. You already did what you did with the whole Carson Wentz situation, drafting Jalen Hurts everywhere, everything that happened now. But, we'll take a look at some of these top quarterbacks. And obviously, these are guys I really just don't think that we would be able to get. But Trevor Lawrence, obviously, he's going to go number 1 to the Jags. I think Zach Wilson goes to the Jets. And beyond that, Fields could go to the Niners. Trey Lance could go there. There's even been talk of Mac Jones going there. But these are the guys that I feel will be, your top quarterbacks. Trey Lance, maybe the Eagles. If the Eagles take him at 12, though, I'm going to be irate, especially with a lot of the talent that is going to be there. So, but if anyone's going to go at 12, it would be Trey Lance. Or if the Eagles were going to try to move back up, say maybe Justin Fields fell or Trey Lance fell, then maybe the Eagles try to trade back up, maybe to 9 with the Broncos, maybe 8 with the Panthers. Not real sure. That the Panthers don't need a quarterback. They just got themselves Sam Darnold. But I don't know. The Broncos might not want to be willing, to give that up. They got a lot of holes too. The Eagles should not be investing in a quarterback. Once again, this article that was written that the Eagles are interested in creating competition, this was literally a hypothetical. I can't even remember the hell the guy's name was. It was like, I don't want to say Tom Jones because it wasn't like Tommy Jones. I'm not trying to be, create a character here. I think that Tom Daniels or something like that. I don't even know who the hell it was. It was like a PFF writer. I was like, oh God, dude. So now the narrative has been created that we have to now be drafting a quarterback because Tom said so. So now the Eagles have to draft a quarterback. Here to tell you that's not how it works. And we do not have to draft a quarterback just because old Tom said so. We'll see. I don't have a clue where we're at right now, especially. Yeah, nobody knows. Wentz was soft. Yeah, we have Hurts now. We have a leader, guy that's going to compete, guy that wants to win. And obviously he has some things to work on, but most rookie quarterbacks do, especially when they don't have preseason and the offseason is as shot as last year's was. So I'm excited to see what Nick Sirianni, Shane Steichen, Brian Johnson, Kevin Patullo, all these coaches, what they can do with Jalen Hurts in his second year. And I'm excited, man. He is QB1 now. I hope they build around him. But if you're going to add some guys, we talked about those top quarterbacks. Now, let's take a look at the list of, the other quarterbacks I think, we could add at some point in this draft or undrafted. A couple guys here at the end. But Mac Jones, we just talked about him. There's some talk that, he could go in the first round. A lot of teams intrigued by him. Obviously, playing at Alabama, pro-style system. but he had some pretty damn good receivers. So we've talked about those receivers. Wouldn't mind having them. But Mac Jones, if he's still available at 37, I hope the Eagles don't take him. I don't want to get a career backup here. I think there's a lot of talent in this draft, and you have to build around it. And whether that's offense or defense, it doesn't matter. I really don't care. But it's not quarterback. That's the one thing I will say. I don't want a quarterback. But you see the list here. There's a lot of guys that, I would be very intrigued by in later rounds. Now, the first two, maybe three picks, I'm not going quarterback. Maybe that second, third round pick. I might be intrigued to see who's available there. Now, it depends on who you're talking. Mac Jones, if he's still sitting around, if he keeps falling, maybe think about him. But I'm not taking him in the first or second. He'd be intriguing in second, but maybe you'd trade back. I don't know. Regardless, I'm not taking him. Kellen Mond, Kyle Trask. These are intriguing guys that I would think about maybe in the third, fourth round. Probably Mond more over than Trask. Trask doesn't have, that athleticism that Jalen Hurts has. I'm looking for a guy that we can groom and would fit the system the same. Obviously, Joe Flacco is not that guy, so he's more of the mentor. I want a guy that can come in and play the offense how it's supposed to be played. So I would be very intrigued. John jumping in here, agreeing. Kellen Mond from A&M. Yep, I think that's a good one. David Mills from Stanford, another intriguing pick. Now, a lot of these guys are very intriguing because you don't know what you get here with them sitting out last year or, one or two games. So you really have to pick and pride. Jamie Newman, that was the kid that transferred over from Wake Forest to Georgia. And then, of course, COVID just ruined everything. But, another dual threat quarterback. The last three guys I just mentioned, Mon, Mills, Newman, all 6'4", all dual threat quarterbacks. So I wouldn't be against those guys, maybe somewhere fourth, fifth round. Felipe Franks, not necessarily an athletic quarterback, but he's got an arm. He's an intriguing pick. Not somebody I'm going to bat for, somebody I want on this team. But some of the guys on the other side, I like Sam Ehlinger, more of a running guy, obviously not a quarterback just yet where I'd feel comfortable in the NFL. But that's the same goes, when Jalen Hurts was coming out. But Jalen Hurts, I think, was a lot better developed as a pocket passer. But obviously some grooming to be done. Same goes for Peyton Ramsey, Northwestern. There's some intriguing guys here. KJ Costello, he was an interesting one I watched. Had a great game against LSU, but then came back and had some crappy games against some crappy teams. So it's hard to gauge guys like that. You don't know if they're just young and they need to learn. There's some talent in this draft. And that's the thing, they talk about, the Eagles are going to need to add a quarterback. Thank you. Thank you so much, Captain Obvious. But don't get people all riled up and talking about, now the Eagles, we're using our first pick on a quarterback just because Tommy Boy said so. Look, the Eagles will do whatever the hell they want. And maybe it was Howie Roseman that leaked it. Maybe he wants other teams to draft quarterbacks so he can get someone else. Maybe it was someone else leaking it because they hate the Eagles. Maybe it was a guy named Tom that just wanted to write a hate piece on the articles because, he hates the Eagles. You really got to take all this stuff out there with a grain of salt, guys. And to me, it drives me mad half the time. So I just wanted to jump on, let you guys know that there are some quarterbacks available. And yes, the Eagles should actually look into getting a quarterback in the later rounds or an undrafted guy. These are some things that you should definitely be looking into when you only have two quarterbacks. But to create drama that we're trading for Deshaun Watson and what? So to answer these questions, you draft a quarterback not to compete with Hurts, but to push him. Obviously, a quarterback just being there is competition, so that pushes him. But you don't need to draft a guy high, make things awkward. So now you draft one in later rounds. And then Deshaun Watson, I don't know, dude. Like I said, he's kind of dealing with 22 sexual assault cases right now. Let's let him figure that out. And then we can get to that road. But holy hell, we're not crossing that right now. People are insane. I know times seem slow to some people, but it's like the draft, guys. It's like 18 days away. The draft's coming. There's lots to talk about. There's lots of players out there. We've been talking about all of them. Wide receivers, corners, linebackers, safeties, defensive linemen, offensive linemen, receivers, tight ends, running backs. Doesn't matter. There's so much talent, and this draft's coming, baby. And we got 11 picks. Howie Roseman, you need to use those picks wisely. And everyone will kindly remind you of that. And yeah, I know it's Howie Roseman. Very aware. And that leaves us all very scared as to who is he going to draft. I'm hoping he takes the best player available. I'm hoping he doesn't pass on very talented players for guys that he thinks are talented. Hope he listens to the scouts, the coaches, the people that know football. I hope Andy Weidel has a say. I hope things change, and I hope that things get better. I really do. We did all the things that were necessary, though, so far this offseason. We talk about restructuring all those contracts, did that, added the veterans we need to on one-year deals. Love it. You have the most draft picks out of any team. So, yeah, we did everything we set out to do this offseason. I'm excited about it, man. Can't wait for the draft to get here and start the season. Yeah. And that's when you get a better idea, because then you know your players, right? I mean, people are out here, all this deep sucks. It's like you don't even know who we have. You have no idea. We make trades, what we're going to do, move back, move forward. I've had a show. Obviously, I make shows every day, but we have a show about trading back. We have one about trading forward. There are so many options. I saw something today. Daniel Jeremiah was talking to John Clark about Eagles trading. It's like, yeah, we've been talking about that for months. I mean, like, these are captain obvious kind of things, guys. And that's what they should be talking about. Like the possibilities, what could happen, not creating narratives as if they are truth. And it's ridiculous out there, guys. But I'm excited for mini camp, all of that stuff, dude. You guys know me. I watch every single thing. I want to know every detail about my birds. That's just how it is. So if you're just tuning in, you haven't tuned in before, this is the place to come for Eagles news, because here we don't just spit the garbage that's out there. We get to the bottom of the truth. And I appreciate you guys that always tune in. You guys are awesome. Hitting the likes, the subscribes, all those buttons. That's cool and all, but you guys that tune in, joining the conversation, it means the world to me. I love talking birds every day with you guys, and I'm excited for this season. Like, you just said right here, maybe it's not beginning, but when the draft comes, baby, that's all the work I've been putting in. We'll see who we get. I'm excited, man. Again, I'm going to try to, we got 2 years in a row. I nailed who we're drafted. So we're going to go for year 3. Probably going to completely bomb on it. But you guys know I'm hopeful for J.C. Horn, maybe a Devontae Smith. But we will bust out that mock draft. We'll see who I got us going with. But I'm excited, man. And I don't think we're just going to throw it away on a quarterback at pick 12 this time. I just don't think that's going to be how it goes down. So let's call them our Jets and just realize that it's people creating narratives. We don't have to go crazy. And then I saw some lady also created a post earlier and was just like, we're becoming the Browns. And I was like, yeah. Oh, weren't the Browns like 11-5 last year? Like, oh no, the Eagles are getting good. What? I urge people to start watching football before they start talking about football. So yeah, if you think the Eagles are becoming a playoff team, yeah, I agree with you actually. But I think they were trying to be condescending, but with them not understanding or watching football, they didn't realize the Browns are actually a good team. So a little embarrassing. That's why we talk about adding multiple backs. A team like the Browns, that was very smart of them to do that. That's why they're a very good team. So if you think the Eagles are looking like a very good team, I'm going to agree with you. I think that the Eagles have a lot of these key pieces coming back that we talked about, those 3 guys on the offensive line that restructured and extended, making sure that we can help these young guys grow. And it's a lot of youth going to be on this team, and a lot of guys we don't even know yet. You got 11 draft picks. I don't know if we bundle some up and get less, but get more. I don't know what we're going to do really, but you got undrafted free agent guys coming in too. So it's going to be a whole new team, guys. Let's try to pump our brakes on that. You lose your mind because some Tommy boy writes an article. Like, that's not on the Eagles that you got offended by someone's article. Like, just stop reading crap articles and following crap people. Like, I don't know. I try to urge people. I'm like, look, just watch a video. And they're like, I'm not going to watch your video. I'm going to wait till someone else watches your video and then makes their own video of talking about what you talked about. And it's like, well, I guess you could, but then you're just going to get all this nonsense. And here we are, the Browns, playoff bound. Love it. Love it. So I hope you guys are having a good weekend, but that just threw a little wrench in my, I'm like, you guys, you just can't talk about the draft. And that's the thing. It's like, if that's why those are the same people that got pissed off about Nick Sirianni's film breakdown, because they had no idea what he was saying. So it's like, they don't know anybody in the draft. They don't know what the hell is happening. So they just go with their narratives of being pissed off. Don't like to see it, man. Don't like to see it. So we're here for the truth. I appreciate you guys tuning in for that truth on this beautiful weekend. But if you guys need anything, you can always reach out. I'm always here for you guys, whether it's just to talk football, talk anything, doesn't matter. Love you guys. Appreciate you always supporting me. But yeah, I'm going to get rolling out, try to enjoy this beautiful Sunday. If anything occurs, I will be back with another video, but hopefully we'll find some peace. Flyers can win. Phillies get a win later. That would be beautiful. All right, guys, have yourselves a great weekend. And as always, Go Birds! Oh, I should back up. Go Birds!